Hello. Welcome to Easy English Channel, my friend. Come closer. Grab a cup of warm coffee or hot chocolate, find a comfortable spot, and let's take this journey together, nice and slow. Take a slow breath and look around you right now. Really look. How many things around you are made of plastic? Your phone case that fits perfectly in your hand, the water bottle you carry every day, the tag on your shirt, the keyboard under your fingers, the food wrapper you just opened, the charger cable, the pen on your desk. Plastic is everywhere, yet we almost never stop to think about it. So light you barely feel it. So strong it survives drops and dents. So cheap it's thrown away without a second thought. And so flexible it can be shaped into almost anything. Hard like metal, soft like fabric, clear like glass, colorful like paint. But this material that surrounds us every day didn't always exist. 100 years ago, most things were made from wood, metal, glass, cotton, leather, bone, rubber, natural materials that came from trees, animals, or the earth. Then humans learned to create something new, something that could imitate nature but also improve it. Plastic was born from chemistry, from coal and oil, from fire and clever minds in quiet laboratories. It promised freedom from scarcity, lightness in a heavy world, convenience in a busy life, and it delivered more than anyone could have imagined. But every promise has a shadow. Today, let's trace its strange, brilliant, and sometimes troubling story. From the first experiments trying to replace nature, to the mountains of waste we now face, and to the hope that we can learn to use it better. It didn't start in factories. It started in a lab trying to replace nature. Ready? Then let's begin. Long before plastic bottles, toys, or shopping bags filled our world, people were already searching for something new. In the 19th century, natural materials were running low. Ivory from elephants was expensive and cruel to harvest. Tortoiseshell from sea turtles was beautiful but overused. Rubber was useful but sticky and hard to shape. Celluloid from cotton was invented in the 1860s to replace ivory in billiard balls. It worked, but it was flammable and brittle. Then, in 1862, a British inventor named Alexander Parkes created something he called Parkesine. He took cellulose from cotton or wood pulp, mixed it with nitric acid and solvents, and turned it into a moldable, horn-like material. Could be shaped when warm, then hardened into combs, knife handles, buttons, even small boxes. Parkesine was the world's first semi-synthetic plastic, made from natural material but transformed by chemistry. It was a big step. Humans were no longer just using what nature gave them. They were remaking it. But Parkesine had limits. It cracked, it smelled, it didn't last long. Then, in 1907, a Belgian-American chemist named Leo Bakelite changed everything. He was looking for a substitute for shellac, a resin used for electrical insulation. He mixed phenol and formaldehyde, heated them under pressure, and created a hard, dark material that didn't melt once it set. He called it Bakelite, the first fully synthetic plastic, a thermoset that could be molded into almost any shape and then stayed hard forever. It was heat-resistant, didn't conduct electricity, and could be made in large quantities. Suddenly, everyday items became affordable. Black telephones, radio cases, electrical switches, jewelry, pipe stems, billiard balls, even kitchen handles. Bakelite was dark, shiny, and strong. People called it the material of 1,000 uses. For the first time, ordinary families could own beautiful, durable things that once only the rich could afford. So long before plastic bottles or bags, the story began with imitation. Parkesine tried to copy nature from plant fibers. Bakelite went further. It created something nature never made. Hard, heat-proof, moldable, cheap. It opened the door to mass production, to a world where things could be replaced easily, thrown away without guilt. But it also started something bigger, Humans learning to invent materials from chemicals instead of harvesting them. From the desperate search for ivory substitutes to the black, glossy products that filled early 20th century homes, plastic wasn't born fully formed. It was born from need, from clever experiments, from the quiet hope that we could make the world better, one molded piece at a time. After Bakelite showed the world what plastic could do, the 20th century really took off. The 1930s brought a wave of new materials, each one more amazing than the last. Nylon, strong, silky, stretchy, replaced silk for stockings and parachutes. PVC turned into pipes, raincoats, and records. Polyethylene became the flexible, waterproof film we now call plastic wrap. Polystyrene made lightweight cups and foam packaging. PET, the clear, strong plastic for bottles, was still coming, but the stage was set. Then World War II changed everything. War needs pushed plastic production to incredible levels. Nylon parachutes saved pilots. Plastic helmet liners protected soldiers. Synthetic rubber replaced natural rubber cut off by Japan. Aircraft windows, gun stocks, radio housings, even blood transfusion tubes, plastic was lighter, cheaper, and could be made fast. Factories ran day and night. When the war ended in 1945, those same factories didn't stop. They turned to peacetime. The world was ready for something new. A future that felt modern, bright, and easy. The 1950s and 60s became the golden age of plastic. Homes filled with color and convenience. Tupperware parties became social events. Women gathered to buy airtight plastic containers that kept food fresh for weeks. Plastic toys, bright, unbreakable, cheap, filled toy boxes. Vinyl records spun rock and roll and jazz in living rooms. Disposable packaging, bags, bottles, wrappers made shopping easier. Cars got plastic dashboards and interiors. Clothes got synthetic fibers, polyester shirts, acrylic sweaters. Everything felt lighter, cleaner, more modern. Plastic promised freedom from repair and replacement. No more polishing wood, no more rusting metal, no more breaking glass. Advertisements showed smiling families surrounded by shiny plastic things. The American dream in bright colors. It wasn't just material, it was a lifestyle. Cheap, cheerful, disposable, endless. After World War II, plastic exploded into daily life. Nylon stockings, vinyl records, plastic toys, disposable packaging. Everything became lighter, cheaper, more colorful. Plastic promised a future of convenience and endless possibility. It replaced heavy, fragile, expensive things with something anyone could afford. It made the world feel new, fresh, optimistic. But that promise came with a hidden cost we wouldn't fully understand until much later. For now, in the 1950s and 60s, plastic felt like magic, a miracle material that made life easier for millions. And the factories kept running, producing more, faster, brighter, until the world was wrapped in plastic. But the convenience that felt like magic in the 1950s and 60s slowly revealed its shadow. Plastic was designed to last, and it does, too well. Unlike paper, wood, or cotton, most plastic doesn't rot or dissolve. It breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces over decades, centuries, even thousands of years, but it never truly disappears. By the 1970s, single-use plastic exploded. Thin shopping bags, straws, disposable cutlery, water bottles, food wrappers. They were cheap, light, hygienic, perfect for a fast, throwaway world. We used them once, then tossed them. Billions every day. Most ended up in landfills or worse, in rivers, streets, beaches. The ocean became the final destination for much of it. In the 1980s and 1990s, scientists began noticing strange things. Plastic fragments floating in the sea, tangled in seaweed, swallowed by fish. Then came the discovery of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a massive swirl of plastic debris twice the size of Texas, spinning slowly in the North Pacific Gyre. It wasn't one big island of trash, it was trillions of tiny pieces, from confetti-sized fragments to larger bottles and nets. Birds, turtles, whales ate them, mistaking them for food, their stomachs filled with bottle caps, lighters, toothbrushes. Many died slowly, starved, or poisoned. Microplastics, pieces smaller than 5 millimeters, were found in the deepest ocean trenches, in Arctic ice, in mountain snow. They entered the food chain. Fish ate them, we ate the fish. Studies showed microplastics in human blood, lungs, even placentas. What we threw away came back to us. But the convenience came at a cost. Plastic lasts forever, or almost. It breaks into tiny pieces that enter oceans, fish, even our blood. What was once a miracle became a crisis. We now find plastic in the deepest sea trenches and the highest mountains. The same material that promised lightness and freedom now weighs heavy on our planet. Animals suffer. Ecosystems choke. And we begin to understand. The things we throw away don't really go away, they just go somewhere else. The golden age of plastic is turning into a time of reckoning. We're starting to ask hard questions. How much is too much? Can we keep the good parts, the convenience, the hygiene without the harm? The story isn't over, but the next chapter depends on what we choose to do now. We're finally starting to fix it. The realization came slowly, but it came. By the 2000s, images of plastic-filled oceans, dead seabirds, microplastics in fish, and floating garbage patches went viral. People began asking, what if we can keep the good parts of plastic, the lightness, the durability, the low cost, but lose the harm? The answer is emerging in many directions at once. First, bioplastics. Instead of drilling oil, we grow it. Companies make PLA, polylactic acid, from cornstarch or sugarcane. It looks and feels like regular plastic, clear bottles, food containers, cutlery, but it comes from plants. When composted properly, it breaks down into water, carbon dioxide, and organic matter. Other options use cassava, potato starch, or even algae. Brands like Coca-Cola, Danone, and Nestle have launched bottles with plant-based plastic. It's not perfect yet. It needs industrial composting facilities, and sometimes it competes with food crops, but it's a big step toward renewable materials. Then there's recycling, but smarter. Chemical recycling breaks plastic back into its original molecules so it can be reborn as good as new over and over. Mechanical recycling is still common, bottles turned into new bottles or fleece jackets, but chemical methods promise true circularity. Many big companies are committing. Unilever, PepsiCo, Procter & Gamble, and L'Oreal have pledged to use more recycled content. Some aim for 100% recyclable or reusable packaging by 2025 or 2030. Governments are helping too. Dozens of countries and cities have banned single-use plastic bags, straws, cutlery, and styrofoam. Kenya, Rwanda, New York, California, the European Union all have restrictions or taxes. People are changing habits. Reusable bags, metal straws, refill stations, zero-waste stores. We're seeing refill shops, bulk bins, beeswax wraps, mushroom packaging, seaweed-based films. The next chapter isn't about abandoning plastic. It's about responsibility. Not just convenience, but thoughtful use. We're learning that the material isn't evil. The way we've used it was careless. Now we have a chance to make it better. The story of plastic is shifting from more, cheaper, faster, to smarter, kinder, circular. And that shift, that's where hope lives. Now we look forward to what plastic could become in the next chapter. The material that once felt like magic is being reimagined with responsibility in mind. Scientists are developing self-destructing plastics, ones that break down naturally after a certain time, triggered by light, heat, or microbes. Imagine a plastic bag or food wrapper that simply disappears into harmless compounds after use, leaving no trace in soil or sea. Edible packaging is already here in some places, thin films made from seaweed, starch, or milk protein that you can eat along with the food inside. No waste at all. Just dissolve or consume. Ocean cleanup technologies are scaling up. Floating barriers that collect plastic in gyres, robotic boats that skim trash from rivers before it reaches the sea, even drones and AI to spot waste from above. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is being attacked head-on. Not just cleaned, but prevented. Companies are changing too. Many big brands now promise to use only recyclable or biodegradable materials by 2030. Some are investing in chemical recycling plants that turn old plastic back into new virgin quality resin. Others experiment with bioplastics from agricultural waste, corn husks, sugarcane bagasse, even coffee grounds or mushroom roots. These aren't perfect yet. Some still need specific composting conditions, some are more expensive, but the direction is clear. Move away from fossil fuels, reduce permanence, close the loop. Governments are pushing harder. More bans on single-use items, extended producer responsibility laws that make companies pay for cleanup, incentives for green innovation. Consumers are shifting to refill stations, zero-waste shops, reusable everything. It's not fast, it's not perfect, but it's movement. Plastic teaches us something powerful and humbling. Human ingenuity can create miracles and monsters. From a lab accident trying to replace scarce natural materials to mountains of ocean trash choking wildlife, it keeps reshaping our world and challenging us to do better. We made something that never existed in nature, light, versatile, indestructible. We used it carelessly, and now we see the consequences. But we are also capable of fixing what we break. The next era isn't about abandoning plastic, it's about mastering it. Using less, reusing more, designing it to disappear when no longer needed, turning waste into resource. The story of plastic isn't over. It's still being written by scientists, by companies, by governments, by each of us every time we choose a bag, a bottle, a straw. We can make it a story of destruction or one of renewal. Thank you, my friend, for listening to this long and complicated tale. I hope it made you think not just about plastic, but about how we choose to live with the things we invent. What everyday object should we explore next? A pencil? A zipper? A light bulb? Something completely different? Drop your ideas in the comments below. I read every single one. Until next time, stay curious, stay mindful, and keep making choices that matter.